Hello, people. Um, really wanted to share some deep things with you, if it's all right. Hope that you enjoy it and perhaps you can share with other people. This definition I got of the Constitution of the United States, it comes from the Wikipedia encyclopedia, if you will. So I'm just going to get right into it. It says that the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the United States. Number one, the Constitution, originally comprising 7 articles, delineates the national frame of government. Its first 3 articles embody the doctrine of the separation of powers, and that was necessary, that was wise, whereby the federal government is divided into 3 branches: the legislative, consisting of the bicameral Congress; the executive, consisting of the president; and the judicials, consisting of the Supreme Court and other federal courts. Article 4, 5, and 6 embodied concepts of federalism, describing the rights and responsibilities of the state governments and of the states in relationship to the federal government. So you got the Congress, of course, and the Senate and the House of Representatives and all of these different entities, perhaps some more that wasn't described here. But it comes to my attention that every one of these levels of government I find and have found, and it is so, especially back then as opposed to now, every one of those levels have been infiltrated by racist white people. People without morals, if you will, people without ethics, people that practice hate against black people. So I go on to write, this whole country reminds me of Star Wars, and I would like to give an explanation for that. And so as I looked at the saga and remember it, we find that the dark side was against the force, which represent the light, morals, respect, honor, so on and so forth. But as it was, the Federation was considered rebels. When you got high people, you got people in high seats, they will call the people that rebel against them rebels. And of course, you could see that same parallelism, how that when black people rose up against the system and protested, we were called rebels. Other words, but rebels, plainly. And so it used to be that you had to have some type of character and background, solid background, in order to run for an office. But today, in all of these auspices, in all of these different levels of the government, you have people without character, bad behavior. It is sad. And so I went on to write that the democracy is good. Yes, it is good. It allows everyone to be individuals, but individualism is being taken away slowly. And we are made to accept unfounded things as normal. Over the years, you got people just instituting things and they come into certain understandings, which false understandings, but nevertheless, people today is speaking against those things that are proper, and they're opening doors to things that are improper. So, and we are made to accept unfounded things as normal. Constitution is good because it keeps citizens free, but our liberties are taken from us and bylaws are created to suppress black people. None of this is an illusion. We've seen it since white people got here on this land. We've seen that attitude with the Indians, and then, of course, after that, your black people, us black people, my black people. Yes, and the whole 9 yards. But in any case, um, but not, it says, created to suppress black people. The whole design is good, but not as it is. In order for this country to become great or begin to look or start growing to become great, certain things must take place. A white politician stated that Obama didn't need to beg pardon for this country, he said. But yes, he did, I say. He sounded like he did not need to be excused for his racism, slavery, etc., and atrocities. Well, of course, you do need to repent, America, for what you did to the African American people, for what you did to the Indians, for what you did to us after slavery, all of the racist things you did in Tuskegee syphilis program that you had for years, just using black people as guinea pigs to learn something. You hideous people. Yes, you got to know you're bad. You've done some things that, yes, you need to repent for. So, and he said that this country is already great, but you can't be great because you established a democracy. You can only be great in respect to its citizens. What good is it to have laws no one follows with bias, bigotry, prejudice, and racism? You got laws, but you're not following them. You undermine them, and you attack us, and you deem yourself acceptable and right, but you were wrong, and you're still wrong. One, the people that are terrorizing this country must be stopped. The integrity of this country has been compromised by evil agendas, and the accountability has no stability, and most of the people that are appropriating such evils are organizations such as the KKK, white supremacists, white nationalists, alt-right, ALEC, and neo-Nazi, and every other organizations that are racist must be shut down. These entities are tearing down this country from within, disregarding and undermining its own constitution and democracy. There was a time when racist white people wore sheets at night and bow ties in the morning. Well, they are still doing it with the mask of deception, because our Constitution does not support racist entities. They need to be removed. These are organizations that have moved contrary to our democracy, creating trouble, civil discrimination, bigotry, bias, prejudice, racism, and death in this country. Racism must be criminalized. This country has overstepped its boundaries by not following constitutional principles and is growing into something hideous like communism, where dictatorship indirectly becomes the norm, including establishing sub-laws to discriminate against black people. And that is what was going on in Star Wars. There was a dictatorship trying to rule the democracy, and they were destroying the Federation because they were persistent and they was not going to change. Just like white supremacists, they're not going to change, people. They're going to stay racist. They're going to keep hating you. That's what jealousy does. That's what envy does. That is what emulation does. Hatred does. And if these people don't get saved and repent from their sins, they will surely go to hell. So, what was I? Black people. Okay. These people have normalized drinking of strong drinks, harlotry, drugs of different kinds, sodomy, molestation, allowing people to be exonerated after committing criminality, and so much more. Like certain people is above the law, like Trump, who committed fraud and didn't get in trouble for it, and some of the other things that he did. Yes, you people, this country reminds me of Star Wars. The struggle against good and evil. Evil against good, good against evil. And we're supposed to be fighting evil. Yes, we're supposed to be fighting evil because that's the side that we were supposed to be on. At least we are. So, just like they're normalizing those things, people, racism is being normalized to be accepted as an acceptable perspective, which means that we are living in prophetic utterance that said that good will be called evil and evil will be called good. The scary thing is, it used to be that if your background had criminality and immoral behavior, you could not get into an office. But now they are letting criminals win elections. And it is because the people are immoral and unintelligent. These people are being voted in. Birds of a feather flock together. Anytime you have a politician who is in a high governmental seat and he suppresses votes, that person should be taken down and put in jail. There's no doubt about it. And so with these type of people in charge, what you've had throughout the years is voter suppression. Voter suppression is unconstitutional and it must be criminalized. The judicial system is compromised with unjust judges who make judgments based on personal conjecture, and they allow laws to be used out of context. The incarceration system is racist and without balance, and is designed to make money instead of instituting rehabilitation to be a part of the process. From the mayor to the police department, racism is evident. Police that are racist planting false evidence to keep the jail numbers high. White people are being talked down, but black people, innocent people are murdered, killed, or slaughtered. The police bring a gun to a stick fight, and instead of tasing the person, they are killed. Things like stand your ground law, stop and frisk law, I fear for my life, are laws that have been established by white people, preferably racist white people, in authority. All logistics are used as designed for white privilege, by which white people are giving entitlement in undue honor, courtesy, immunity, benefits, advantage, and favor. That's what's happening in this country right there. And this country is being torn down from within. If you look at the history don't lie. When you have correct history and it shows the atrocities, and the thing is, the things that white folks did to black people, they made a note of it and they took pictures as they went along doing it. And they showed themselves proud of what they were doing, and they were so wrong. So the Constitution is something that was instituted that people might be safe and free and not be trampled over by rich people, so on and so forth. And so it says, according to the United States Senate, the Constitution, first three words are, we the people. See? Affirm that the government of the United States exists to serve its citizens. For over 2 centuries, the Constitution has remained in force because its framers wisely separated and balanced governmental powers to safeguard the interests of majority rule and minority rights, of liberty and equality, and of the federal and state governments. See, this was an excellent thing that God gave United States, but soon as they established it, they worked against it. And I'm trying to tell you that we need to get back to the logistics of our laws as they were created. Because as it is now, they're not observing Constitution when it comes to black people. And you need to know it, believe it or not. Thank you.